Hi, everyone. As you all know, my name is Erica Francois, and I'm the Fair Futures Youth Advisory Board Coordinator. Thank you so much for joining. We are so happy to have you here with all of us. And we're here today because we want to ensure that New York City fulfills its promise to young people in care and saves Fair Futures from being cut in the city budget. The past year has been tough for all New Yorkers. It's been especially tough for youth in foster care, as we know. For young people without a coach, they are facing health threats, job losses, remote learning challenges, and increased trauma from being all on their own. But having the support of an adult sticking behind you and connecting you to the resources you need can change lives. I don't know where I would be without my coach, Megan Zio. I hope you're watching this because I love you. It's been about 4 years now that she's been by my side, and she's been helping me with things that my parents aren't here to help me with. So this is a critical moment for young people in care, and they have never needed their coaches more. We cannot let them down. And now I am pleased to introduce Public Advocate Jumaane Williams.
Good afternoon. Generally, protocol dictates that Jumaane go before me as a public advocate, but since he's not here in his absence, I will absolutely go. First of all, I want to start off by loudly proclaiming my deep respect for Fair Futures. Thousands of middle and high school aged youth are entrusted to the care of New York City, and we as a city have to recognize our duty to care for you, our next generation. We have to invest in your success, your access to opportunities, your realizing your dreams. This is our communal responsibility, and we must not neglect our collective duties. Young people in our foster care system are our future entrepreneurs and inventors, our future scientists and musicians, our future essential workers of all kinds. Your hopes, your dreams, your futures deserve our utmost respect. That's why it's an honor to join you today and why I have stood with Fair Futures and like-minded council colleagues over the years in support of our city making the necessary investments to secure your success. We successfully fought against a potential $10 million cut in funding last year and will need to ensure that the city's budget this year reflects the important work you do. In this moment of COVID-19 and all the challenges the pandemic and economic crisis present, it's especially important that we rededicate ourselves to supporting your critical work. When our young people fail to succeed, we have recognized it is really the responsibility of the wider community. It is the adults who have a moral and legal obligation to make sure our young people can succeed. So I want to thank you, Fair Futures, for the work you do day in and day out, advocating for our young people, mentoring, educating, coaching, and encouraging their aspirations, and helping to grow a sense of compassion and care that lifts us all up. And I just want to say that I am a foster kid, graduated into the city council, and it is always my pleasure to say that this is what foster care looks like. Thank you, and thank you for allowing me to participate in Fair Futures. I look forward to continuing to do the work that's necessary to make sure that your goals, dreams, and aspirations are realized. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Robert E. Cornegy. That was beautiful, and we really appreciate your support. Next up, we'll hear from Graham Wyndham President and CEO, Jess Donhauser.
Thank you, Erica. It's always wonderful to be here with you and with everybody to celebrate the success of Fair Futures. And let's get right to the point. Together, we call on Mayor de Blasio to baseline $20 million in the executive budget to make sure that no young person loses their one-on-one supports, including coaching and tutoring. Thanks to so many here today, and I think we're well over 250, Fair Futures has been a fabulously successful public-private partnership. Our elected officials, the Youth Advisory Board, ACS, philanthropic foundations, and every one of all 26 provider agencies have come together to serve 3,000 young people. This has been done by over 300 fully trained staff in just a year's time. And no, we cannot stop now. No young person should lose the support and opportunity that comes with Fair Futures. Mayor de Blasio, please baseline $20 million in the executive budget. Your commitment to our young people will be an enduring legacy. The Fair Futures Coalition will stick together until every young person has the support they need until age 26. There's so much work to do as they complete school and launch their careers and adult lives. You see, it works. A quick story for you. 2 years ago, as we were gathering for one of our first Fair Futures rallies in Harlem at the State Office building, one of our young people made this beautiful poster. Her name is Brianna. It says, the future is us. And it's our young people calling for what they want in their lives. Last week, we got news from Brianna that she's on the dean's list at Buffalo State. She never lost her Grand Slam coach, which is part of her Fair Futures. Ghaffari has been supporting her. And not only is she on the dean's list, her art is on exhibit at Buffalo State's 2021 Art and Design exhibition. We are so fortunate to serve these talented young people, including the amazing members of the Youth Advisory Board that you're going to hear from today, led by the astounding Erica Francois. They are our city's future, and we are lucky for that. As the adults, all we have to do is listen and put their wise words into action. Back to you, Erica. Thank you for your awesome leadership.
Thank you so much, Jess. Next, I'm going to introduce and we'll hear from Jaheem from Hispanic Family Services, New York. But we have other council members here as well. We have Councilmember Adrienne Adams, Councilmember Antonio Reynoso, we have Councilmember Robert F. Holden, Councilmember Steve Levin, and Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams.
Hey guys, how you doing? Hi, my name is Jaheem Williams. I'm 19 years old and I'm with the Coalition of Family Services. I've been in foster care for almost 9 years. Since I was really young, it's been a roller coaster ride and really hard. I work hard every day to pray for better. Basketball has been a big part of my life and saved me from a lot. If I didn't work hard to do good in the first place, I wouldn't have made it at this point for Fair Future coaches to help me and support me. My Fair Future coaches are Michael and Holly. They helped me get into college, play basketball, and keep me on track. They have pushed me through and helped me figure out stuff so I don't need to worry about it. My coaches helped me stay on track and get through my first year of college during the COVID time. It has been very helpful. Going out of state to college is especially hard, but having these people in my corner giving me a lot of help and keeping me on track has been just what I need from my Fair Futures team. A lot of kids don't have family, money, or ability to have that extra help. There are a lot of kids who want to go to school but have hard times doing so. Having that extra help and support is really important, which is why Fair Futures is such important. That's all.
That was beautiful. Continue to stay focused. We're here for you. We support you. You've done amazing. And I want to introduce Councilmember Stephen Levin now, who's also been a great support.
Thank you so much, Erica. I'll keep my remarks brief. And thank you, Jaheem. That was amazing, and I wish you all the success in the world. So first, I just want to thank all of the youth who are participating in Fair Futures and taking your advocacy to the City Council and to the Mayor, and making sure that your city government hears you loud and clear. And to all the Fair Futures Coalition, this has been an amazing advocacy effort over the last several years. It's been inspiring to see there be a real coalescing around a program that we know works, that it's data driven, that we know it's impactful for young people in their lives that need this type of connection, need this type of support. And I think about when I was about 19, 20 years old, I just finished my third semester of college, and things were going rough, personal trouble, and I was set to leave college and try something else, maybe go back at some point. And went home that Christmas break, and I had a really good talking to from my dad, and he really put the screws to me and challenged me on what I wanted to do with my life and how I was going to make it and where I was going to go, and really was that backstop that backstop to say, okay, let's think about this. Let's think about your future. Let's think about your goals. And, and it's hard when you're 18, 19, 20 years old. It's hard to see. It's hard to see everything, from a kind of pulled out perspective. And youth in care, in foster care, don't always have that. They don't have somebody who they know they can go to that will tell them what's what, that will support them unconditionally, but also challenge them. And that's some of what Fair Futures does. It provides that backstop, that firm but loving guiding hand through these really difficult years. It's difficult for everybody going through that period of life. And so if we as a city can support our young people through this initiative, which is, in the grand scheme of things, $20 million sounds like a lot of money, but we have a $89 billion budget. So it comes down to priorities. And this is the type of program that we can point to and say, we're putting our money where our mouth is. This is our priority. So I just see Holly messaging Jaheim. That's the kind of connection that we want to be able to establish long term for young people. And so I just want to thank all of you for being here today. Let's keep the pressure on and get this funding baseline. Because one other thing is, a year from now, I'm not going to be in office. I'm not going to be in the city council. Adrian will be there, but Rob and Antonio and I will all be gone, and we need to make sure that this funding is there long term, and not subject to budget debates every year, and the vagaries of the budget dance. And so let's get a baseline. Let's keep our eye on the prize, and I want to thank everybody for putting this together and being a part of it. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Council Member Stephen Levin. That was beautiful. And you've been a longtime champion as well. So we're just grateful that you can be here supporting us yet again. And I am now pleased to introduce Public Advocate Jumaane Williams. I apologize for not saying your name correctly the first time, who has also been an advocate for New York City foster care youth and a leader for social justice.
Well, thank you so much. Peace and blessings to you. I just got on, so I missed it. So I appreciate you owning up to it. I didn't hear it. And I'm sure I've been called worse, so no problem at all. Thank you so much, Erica, for having me. Thank everyone for their leadership here. Council Member Levin, I miss you here. I didn't realize you cut it back so low. So hopefully, I can't do it. So if you have the ability to do it, you got to do it for all of those of us who don't have that capability anymore.
I'm on it.
Peace and blessings, everyone. I know we're in a brand new day. I've been saying, unless we get to breathe a little bit, it sucks, but at least we're back to normal levels of bigotry, pre 2016 levels of bigotry. So hopefully, we at least have a space that we can start fighting and pushing back on. And what we no longer have is an excuse and a foil for many Democratic leaders who have said for a long time that the problem was simply Trump and the Republicans. Until even here in New York State, once upon a time, the problem was the Republicans who were running the state Senate. That's no longer the case. And so up and down this city and state, it's Democrats in charge. And now up and down the federal government, it's Democrats in charge. So we want to see these things happening. And I'm excited to be here with you, starting early when it comes to the budget negotiations, asking the mayor to baseline $20 million. This Fair Futures is well thought out. The advocacy is well thought out, and it's to ensure young people in foster care currently receive the mentorship. It's not a thing that they want. It's something that's needed. It's something that we know works. And we have to continue to use evidence-based models. that we know works. What I want to see happen is that all these things is based on public safety. And that's how we need to frame these conversations. What is public safety? How do you define it? And where's funding going? And very often, the way we have defined public safety has simply been on how many police officers can we hire, how many police officers can we have in these neighborhoods, when we know that doesn't work. At minimum, in some places, maybe a very short-term effect. But what we need to do is really knock down the structural issues that have been happening in our communities. And it's not rocket science. And we know it works. The coaches at Fair Futures provide essential lifeline for youth. We know they have been providing essential lifelines. We know when our young people have it, it works. The data I have here, foster youth with a coach have 90% high school graduation rate by the time they age out versus only 21% of young people. We know that LGBTQ and youth of more color are overrepresented in the foster care system, and they're often the most vulnerable. And we do know that if we put the money in the front end for these kind of models, for these evidence-based programs that work, then we don't need to try to solve all the problems on the back end because we failed by sending as many police as possible. So my hope is that all of these things will be framed on, well, what makes our communities safe and what makes them less safe, and really put our money behind it. And we have to have the courage of leaders who say that they're progressive, who say that they're liberal, this whatever that means. We have to have the courage of putting the money behind it and believing that it's going to work. And this is the time to do it. We can't go back to normal because normal didn't work. And so we have to be better than normal. And what are, if the only silver lining in this pandemic can be is we have the opportunity to lay the groundwork to remove systems that didn't work and build upon the ones that did, but just weren't funded properly. And that's the game plan I'm on. And so I'm happy to be with the Fair Futures Coalitions and the electeds on here who I believe are on the same wavelength. And really the things that they're asking for out of the entire budget are not that much money. We just need the courage to get it done. So thank you, everybody, and I'll be here with you.
Thank you so much, Jumaane Williams. You're right, the time is now. And I want to introduce next Councilmember Antonio Reynoso of Brooklyn, who is a longtime champion of Fair Futures and youth issues. Hello.
Thank you so much, Erica. Extremely happy and just honored to be able to be here today with the folks fighting for Fair Futures. You know, I can't say enough about Councilmember Adrian Adams, Councilmember Robert Cornegy, and Councilmember Steve Levin, and the work that they've done at the budget negotiating team, fighting to make sure that this is something that is permanent in the fabric of what makes our city run. Look, we're going to be defined by how we treat the people that are most vulnerable or that have the most needs. That is what this city should speak to. And Fair Futures is the best of what we should be doing. It really speaks to helping the people that need the most resources at a time when we have very few. And Public Advocate Jumaane Williams speaks about what people think public safety is. And it isn't more cops, it's more resources. And that's what we should be fighting for here. And mandating or making sure that the mayor hears our mandate that Fair Future should be made whole at $20 million and nothing less. So again, happy to be here in the fight. I just want to be a megaphone for the work that these young people are doing here on this call to hear Jaheim speak his testimony and the work that Erica is doing in the youth committee. It's just really empowering that we're doing the right thing. It's reinforcing that we need to invest in these resources into these initiatives and these programs. So again, see me as an ally. Anything you could possibly need, I'll be front and center. Thank you all so much, and peace and spread love.
Thank you all so much. Thank you, Councilmember Antonio Reynoso. I'm also reading the chat, so I got a little distracted. The support is insane. Now I want to introduce Councilmember Adrian Adams, who has also been doing a great job of advocating for young people. Hello.
Hi, Erica. Erica, I just want to first say that I'm really so proud of you. I congratulate you and your journey. You are a marvelous testimony and example to so many. Jaheim, I'm inspired by your words today. Keep on doing what you're doing, my little brother. Keep on doing what you're doing. Now, if you just give me a couple of seconds just to champion Fair Futures, just for a little bit. But what we're here today to do is rally for you all, because Fair Futures is a groundbreaking partnership that has supported so many of our young people since 2019. The support that Fair Futures provides is critical, even more so amidst this horrible pandemic. Fair Futures provides invaluable support for our city's young people in foster care, and many of our young people will age out of foster care without the support that they need to thrive. So, Fair Futures, we need you. We need you to continue to be a proactive approach to save our children from crime, drugs, and homelessness. The program provides a comprehensive support system for foster youth who are aging out of the system and need important resources to live independently. And now more than ever, it's important that we continue the progress made and that we sustain baseline funding so that these young people have what they need to succeed. All of our children deserve the best opportunity for a bright future. And I just want to thank the advocates again that have worked so hard on this to give all children in foster care the same opportunities that my children. I will enthusiastically continue to support you. Again, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of your journey. I'm proud of your walk. I'm proud of your talk. And I'm proud to help you get the baselining that you need in the New York City Council from the mayor of the city of New York. I got you back. I got you back. Let's keep on fighting. Love y'all.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Adrienne Adams. That was so beautiful. I cannot cry. I need to continue introducing people, but thank you so much for your message. It's really appreciated. We all hear you, Jaheim and I. Thank you so much for your wonderful compliment, and we're doing the best that we could, of course, and that's why we're here today. And the next person that I'm going to introduce is going to be Councilmember Robert Holden. Hello. Is Councilmember Robert Holden here? Okay, so the next person I'm actually going to introduce is going to be Borough President Eric Adams. He is also not here yet. I apologize. So we have a young person, Zakia, from Sheltering Arms, who is going to speak now about her experience with Fair Futures.
Hello, good afternoon. So my name is Zakia Ahmed, and I'm from the Sheltering Arms from the Bronx. Life in foster care can be hard. I used to get paranoid and wouldn't step out at all. But after meeting and talking to my coach, now I feel more comfortable going out. My coach's name is Amelia. She's been really helpful to me, and she's always been there for me whenever I need her, even during the pandemics. So during COVID, my coach was like really helpful because whenever I needed help with anything, she was always there for me. One of the challenges my coach helped me with was to get comfortable around people when I'm outside and help me socialize. One moment I felt courage was when my coach helped me get the GED, and she went on the interview with me, which kind of like lifted the weight off my shoulders to know that someone is there for me. I do think it's important for the Sheltering Arms and all the other agencies to get this funding, because some of the kids don't have this opportunity and don't get enough support as other people normally do. So that's all.
Thank you, Zakia, so much for sharing. Thank you for being here today to be vulnerable. And next we have Anthony Robinson, a coach from JCCA.
Thank you, Erica. As Erica just said it, hello guys, my name is Anthony Robinson. I'm a youth coach at JCCA, and I'm a part of the LEAP division. LEAP stands for Leadership, Education, and Achievement Pathways. And it encompasses educational coordinators, coaches, tutoring staff, and internship advisors. I would like to say off the bat that Fair Futures has grown our department to new levels. Before Fair Futures, I could literally count on one hand the amount of people we had to do all those jobs I just stated. Fair Futures makes what's possible and brings the support to our youth. Supporting youth during this pandemic and just in this time, we all know has been different and difficult. But that didn't stop me or my LEAP team. With the collaboration of our entire department, we worked endlessly to ensure that all of our coaching youth and the youth within our agency received remote devices and were ready to tackle all the educational goals. When we were tasked on how to engage our youth during the pandemic and with the barrier of social distancing, we did not quit. We did not leave our youth out there to dry, but we came together and we developed game nights, cooking workshops, and peer support groups so that our youth knew that we were with them. There were two things I want to spotlight that I was personally able to accomplish during the pandemic. One was I was able to secure housing for one of my youth. And as we know, securing housing is not always easy, and COVID didn't make it any easier. I found myself online with our housing specialist, thanks to Fair Futures, filling out online applications, attending meetings, and advocating for my youth with the housing specialist's help. Due to that, we were not only able to submit all the documents for housing for this youth, but we were able to also accompany this youth to a housing interview where she was successfully received and accepted her apartment. Now that youth is waiting for a few renovations, but has a home that she can call home. Another thing I would like to spotlight is the countless work that my team continues to do and has done during COVID to seek out other and more employment opportunities for our youth. During the pandemic, I know we all know that financial hardship has come about in one way or another. For our foster youth, this presented a major barrier. Once again, we did not stop at Team Leap. We just leaped to it. We found out different educational opportunities, different educational programs, and we continue to seek those opportunities for our youth because we know that's what they need and that's what we're going to do. Why did I say all this? I say this all to tell you and urge City Council to secure the baseline funding for the next fiscal year for Fair Futures. Fair Futures brings all the supports that we have worked hard for over the years full circle. With the help of its coaches, its coordinators, and their supervisors, we're able to do that job. I'll leave you with this metaphor. You could try to climb a mountain with a safety vest on, but without a person at the other end of that safety vest to secure you, you might fall and fail. Fair Futures is that person. Fair Futures is the coach, the educational specialist, or the coordinator there at the bottom of the mountain, ensuring that you don't slip and fall, so that our youth, foster youth, one of the most at-risk populations, shall succeed and can reach the mountaintop of any of and all of their goals. I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Anthony, so much. What a moving message. Next, I'm going to introduce a coach from Sheltering Arms, Amelia.
Thank you, Erica. Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Amelia, and I have been a coach at Sheltering Arms for about a year now. Throughout this time, I was able to experience how important it is that our youth receive both the help, the love, and support that they need at all times. During the COVID pandemic, I was able to help my youth transition to remote learning and obtain the tools that they need to complete their schoolwork. That is things like getting Wi-Fi, tutors, and tablets, whatever it was, I made sure that I was there for them. As a coach, I also had the ability to offer my kids emotional, mental, and physical support. In particularly, last year was very important for them to have this individualized support due to the pandemic crisis. I was able to take some of my youth on social distance walks at the park, help prepare them for interviews, search for jobs, apply for cash grants for those that didn't have jobs, make doctor's appointments, just about anything that they needed help with. Being able to go on walks and just have someone to talk and help guide you through such difficult times is priority in times like these. Youth in foster care should be able to have that one person that they can rely on and go whenever they need help. That's really what Fair Futures is, what a Fair Futures coach is. Throughout the pandemic, coaches at Sheltering Arms have ensured that all youth have their daily needs met. I think it's really important that we get this NYC baseline funding for Fair Futures because foster care youth need a strong support system now more than ever. And ensuring that they have this kind of access to Fair Futures would mean that they would continue to feel encouraged, receive the one-on-one support that Fair Futures give youth, and also help them continue to stay track with their goals. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amelia, for being a coach. We need you. And you look like you're around my age, so the relatability is there. Next, I'm going to introduce someone that I love working with on the board, personality of his own, and I'm just glad he's here to share his experience and his story, which is going to give us a different perspective. So I am pleased to introduce one of the board members, Alonzo Leon Ford.
Hello, everybody. Like she said, my name is Alonzo Leon Ford. I'm 21 years old from Queens, New York. And being in this youth in the system has come with many challenges. Before having my success coach, Susan Senna, I can say I was a lot more closed off from people. Definitely, I would not be sitting on this, sitting here today as a board member, a part of Fair Futures. My coach has been so helpful and patient and understanding of me. He's been responsible for keeping me in check during this stressful time. He's the one who helped me figure out I wanted to actually go to college and the steps to take to do so. Amongst this pandemic, he has been extremely helpful by staying consistent and persistent. I've just recently moved out of my residential program with Heartshare St. Vincent's. That was my home for the last 4 years and a place where I was able to develop my passion for youth and care. His persistence and extensive support has been a huge pillar of support for me. As a member of the LGBTQ community, I feel like it's my responsibility to also shed light on the many challenges we can face in the system. It's no secret that our sexuality alone can make our life significantly more challenging. Now imagine that youth in care in a brand new environment, surrounded by strangers. I speak from experience when I say we close ourselves in. I think it's imperative that New York City baselines the funding for Fair Futures for many reasons. One being us, this Board of Youth is a prime example of what Fair Futures Coach can do and how they substantially improve our youth's everyday life and give them support and confidence to do whatever they put their mind to. Ours and this board just happens to be advocating for youth across all of New York City. Thank you.
Thank you, Alonzo. That was beautiful. It's a pleasure working with him, and it's a pleasure working with all the young people and all of the different backgrounds and the walks of life that they come from. And it is an honor to work with each and every one of them and to see what they bring to the table. So now I'm proud to introduce Brooklyn Borough President, Eric Adams, who has always stood with Fair Futures and worked tirelessly to support New York City youth. Hello. You are muted.
That is the new norm in Zoom, being told you're muted, you know? Thank you so much. And I am a Fair Futures fan. I don't think I'm on many forums or debates or conversations that I don't talk about this organization and what you are doing. One of my favorite quotes from Archbishop Desmond Tutu states that we spend a lifetime pulling people out of the river. No one goes upstream and prevent them from falling in the first place. I say it over and over again because it's a constant reminder that we have a city, a state, and a country where we wade downstream and pull people out of the river, when we should be going upstream and prevent them from falling in the first place. And nothing personifies that more than Fair Futures. Just 2 weeks ago, I remember sitting down talking with my mom about a serious issue that I was navigating with my 26-year-old son. And I thought about it. What would I have done throughout the years if at 21 I would no longer have that parental guidance? If people think that because you reach 21 that you no longer need the guidance and wisdom of an adult in your life, you're wrong. My son at 26 calls me all the time as he navigate the changing faces of what he's involved in now as he moves into adulthood. And here at 60, I'm still calling mom, asking her some of the basic questions that I need to understand. And Fair Future fills the gap. The numbers are clear. I don't have to tell you how many young people aging out of foster care, not graduating from high school, the poor enrollment in college, the 1 in 5 who are homeless. Then you just look at all the other circumstances that one has to go through. This is crucial and it's important. I'm an advocate, a believer, and I really take my hat off to you from the first time that you came into my office and shared with me the dismal numbers. I have really been ignited on how do I do more to ensure I help our young people who are in foster care and who are aging out of foster care. You deserve better from the city, and you deserve better from those of us in government. And I'm going to continue to do everything I could possibly do to give you that better. Again, thank you for seeing me as a friend and as an ally. We will continue to fight this fight together. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We will continue to fight this fight all together. Now I am going to introduce Keith Little, who is CEO and president of SCO. Hi, Keith.
Hey, Erica, and thanks. Erica, you're doing a fabulous job.
Thank you.
I also wanted to thank all of the elected officials who are joining us today. I mean, I'm so motivated by listening to the support coming from the elected officials. Your time and your support is very much appreciated. So I've been asked to say a few words, and actually I'm going to say more than a few words because I believe in fair futures. The biggest challenge for our youth and for human services providers is to assist and support our youth in daring to dream, and that's important. Reality frequently gets in the way of realizing potential. Fortunately for us, Fair Futures provides this opportunity. When we work with youth to not only dream, but also to turn these dreams into a plan for the future, then there is hope and possibilities. Otherwise, because of structural inequities that have been further exacerbated by the COVID pandemic, opportunities will not realistically be available for youth of color who are disproportionately represented in the New York City foster care system. We know from experience that coaches and mentors help our people turn ideas into action. They help them see beyond personal challenges and confines and help them unlock their limitless possibilities. They help change their reality for the better. So let me just share with you the impact of Fair Futures at my organization, SCO, because it's been substantial. We serve 484 young people from middle school through age 26. 100% of our middle school students, ages grades 6 through 8, are served by Fair Futures middle school specialists, 100%. Last year, 96% of our 12th graders in SCO's family foster care graduated from high school and are pursuing post-secondary opportunities. 47 young people in SCO foster care programs are attending college and are supported by SCO's college specialists. 3 young people will graduate from 4-year colleges in May of this year with a bachelor's degree, an extraordinary accomplishment despite the additional challenges presented by COVID, including being displaced from dorms and other housing. Thankfully, our staff was there to provide support and guidance during these difficult times. SCO's housing specialist is working with all young people in foster care, ages 18 to 21, on referring, obtaining, and maintaining housing. Our career readiness specialist is working with 9th graders and up on their career goals. We talk about daring to dream. obtaining employment, and preparing them for financial independence. The specialist is actively working with 20% of our foster care youth in various areas of assistance. The goal is to prepare our young people for successful transition into adulthood and independence. So in closing, I wanted to share a number of things. Fair Futures is the catalyst to ensure a better future for New York City's youth in care. It literally changes the lives of young people through individualized support that addresses their education, emotional, and career development needs and ambitions. There's not many programs that do all of that. This afternoon, we had the privilege to hear from experiences from young people and coaches, and they are extraordinary. We see the impact of these services. We know the difference that they make. When given the tools and the resources and the support of mentors who believe in them, these young people not only succeed, they soar. We need the baseline $20 million in funding for Fair Futures. It's critical to the future of so many. We can't let these young people down. We just can't do it. We call for continued support of the mayor and city council to invest in the future of our young people. Thereby, we're investing in the future of this city. Help us ensure that every young person in foster care, from middle school through 26, has the support and guidance to be successful. Help us ensure that their coach, tutors, specialists remain constant in their lives, guiding them on the path to independence. We are all at a critical juncture in youth development and must sustain, and build upon our collective and collaborative efforts to ensure opportunities and set our young people in care on the path to success. Let's help them dream. Let's help them soar. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much, Keith Little. Let's continue helping them dream and exactly what you said, helping them soar. I want to thank everyone for joining and for showing up today. To tell our local leaders and our mayor that New York City cannot let our young people fall through the cracks. Our city needs fair futures, and we are so happy to have you all here today to support us, the young people in care. Thank you to the young people for joining all the agencies, Graham Windham, HSBS, New York Foundling, SEL Family of Services. And if you haven't already, we'd like to ask you to follow at Fair Futures New York on Twitter. We encourage all of you to share your voice on social media and repost Fair Futures content. We want to make sure that we are heard loud and clear, and the world knows why it's more than important than ever that now New York City saves Fair Futures from being cut in the city budget. Please keep sharing your support on social media during and after the rally, because every post counts. All of your voices counts, and all of your support counts. So thank you so very much for joining us today. Thank you. Bye, everyone.